What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today I'm going to do a little product review for you. It's a product that I use all the time in my garage. It's something that's asked about a lot, especially in boat forums. And honestly, it's a product that I think anybody with a dual axle trailer on a boat should definitely look at and invest in. They're the Harbor Freight wheel dollies. They're made by Pittsburgh Automotive, and there's several different brands out there, of course, but these ones are the least expensive ones that I've found. They're the hydraulic kind. They're not the ones that you just put under the wheels. They are the hydraulic ones. So I'm going to show you guys how they work, and I'll give you a little bit of a preview of me pushing the boat around the garage, just so you can see, how well they work and what little effort it takes to get the boat positioned where you need it. Now, my garage is a two-car. My truck, of course, if you're not new to the channel, you guys know my truck is, she's a big girl. But with these wheel dollies, I am able to push the boat towards the left side. If you're looking at my garage, it's the left. And then I'm able to get my truck in here as well with the boat. I don't do that a lot. A lot of times, my wife calls this my boat house. Most of the time, it's just the boat in here. I like having it in the middle. It gives me a lot more room to work. But in any instance that I need to get the truck in the garage, whether I'm working on it or if the weather's really bad, I want to get it out of the weather, I just use these dollies, push the boat over, pull the truck in, and I'm good to go. So anytime you need help positioning your boat, especially the dual axle trailers, which I'm sure you guys know, they do not move easily, when you're unhooked from the truck. Yeah, these dollies come in handy. So let me give you just a quick look at them. I'm going to show you how they work, and then I'll give you a look at me pushing the boat around just to kind of show you, how well they work and how easily it is to maneuver the boat once you have it jacked up. Now, the one thing I'm going to mention before we get into it is, because I know somebody's going to ask, whether or not you should have 4 of the jacks or 4 of the dollies or 2 dollies. You can get away with just 2 dollies, one on each side. But I'm not going to lie to you, if you're going to do this, just invest and get the 4. It is so much easier. Maybe I'll give you a little bit of a preview having just the 2 dollies on there. It's not that easy to move with just 2 dollies, 1 on each side. So if you're going to do this, I highly recommend getting the 4 dollies, 1 for each wheel, obviously 2 over here, 2 on the other side, and it just makes it so much easier to move this boat around and get it positioned where you need it. So let me give you a quick look at these, and then I'll start pushing the boat around for you. Alright, so let me give you a quick look at the dollies before I show you how they work. Really not much to them. 4-inch casters on it. As I mentioned, 1,250 pounds per dolly for a total of 5,000 pounds that they can support and that you can work with for the set of 4. Basically, in order to work them, it has this arm here. Before I get into how they work, it has this arm here when you're storing it. It's got a little hole right here in the arm and a little hook here if you wanted to. If you're going to put them underneath something, you can always put that arm down and lock it in like that. So that way it'll just, if you need to get it underneath anything. When you're ready to use, there is, as you can see, they slide in and out like that to accommodate different wheel sizes. This piece right here, when you're going to position it, as you can see, you can lock it in place in the up position or unlock it in the down position. When you're going to position it, you want it in the down position. When you have it in the up position, as you can see, it kind of locks it. You can't spread it. Put it in the down position, and now you can go ahead and move it back and forth to accommodate the wheel. So all you're going to do is the obvious. You're just going to push it in here. As you can see, it has these black I want to say pads, but these black support things here, 1 on each side. That's what's going to go against the wheel, so you just slide it in. I like to leave maybe about a 2-inch gap between the tire and the system here, and you'll see why as we jack it up. If you get too close, this arm is going to start hitting your tire. So again, just leave maybe a 2 to 3 inch gap. You'll be able to find what works best for you. I'm sure it's going to vary on the tire as well, but on the boat, about a 2 to 3 inch gap works best. So get it, squeeze it on the tire nice and tight like this. At that point, you can go ahead and push this piece here into the locked position, and now you're ready to jack up the tire. So I'm going to do it's the same process. I'm not going to show you all 4 tires. You're just going to do the same thing with all 4. When I first get it on the tire, I like to just give it 2 pumps, just like that, and that kind of locks that one into place. Now, as I'm going around and putting the other 3 in position, this one won't shift on me at all. So I'm going to do that with each tire. I'll get it in position, I'll give it 2 pumps on each tire, and then I'll come back and jack the tire up, all 4 tires up the rest of the way, making my way around the trailer just to try to kind of keep everything even. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other 4 into position, and I'll show you how to move it around. All right, so now that we have all 4 dollies in position, again, I only pumped each one of them up twice just to kind of lock them on the wheel like I showed you. So now I'm going to go ahead and pump them out the rest of the way. Now there's grooves on here, which you'll be able to see. Maybe I'll take a picture of them and put them on the screen just so you know what I'm talking about. But every time you pump, it goes 1 groove. So I know exactly where I have to go to get my wheels off the ground, which you'll just kind of have to learn that for yourself, where the spot is on the dollies that's going to get your wheels off the ground. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish pumping these up to the spot where I need them for the wheels to be off the ground. And I'll go ahead and do the other side, and we're ready to push the boat. All right, guys, hopefully you can see me over here. Now that we have all 4 wheels off the ground, what I like to do when I'm doing this by myself is I'll start with the front. I'll move the front a little bit and then go to the rear, because as you're going to see, I mean, these things they work really well, but to get in the middle of the boat and just try to push the whole thing all at once, that's going to be tough to do by yourself. So what I like to do is I'll usually come to the front, and let's say I'm going to try to move it towards you. I'll just come to the front and I'll pull it just a little bit. And as you can see, I mean, that literally takes almost no effort at all. I'll come to the back, and you can either push or pull, whatever's easier for you. So I'm just going to come over here and push the rear. So as you can see, these things make it so much easier to move this boat around by myself. If you've ever owned a dual axle trailer, you know it is almost impossible to move by hand. You need super strength to move a dual axle trailer by yourself when it's not hooked up to the truck. So as you can see, I'm going to push it back into the other corner just to give you another look real quick. And but little to no effort once you have it jacked up on these dollies. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and take the front. I'll pull it back towards me. And the other thing too is, like, let's say my garage was longer and I wanted to move it back or forward towards the front door here. As you're pulling, like as I'm pulling here, just kind of come back towards that angle like that. And you know, you could also move it forward and backwards as well. I'm hitting my table back there. So but yeah, so that's all there is to it, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and position it back over here. So I'll do the front a little bit, and then I'll come back and pull the back. So there you have it. I mean, as you can see, these things make it so much easier to position this boat in the garage exactly where I need it if I do want to get the truck pulled in here for any kind of project or anything like that. Highly recommend these things. I believe I got these things, these are 4 years old. I've gotten my money's worth for sure. They work really well, and they obviously last. This is my 4th season with these dollies. When I got them, I want to say they were $69.99, and I actually had a 20% off coupon that Harbor Freight always puts out there. I got them for like 60 bucks, give or take. Last time I checked, I think they're up to like 100 bucks a piece. But again, just watch, keep an eye out. Harbor Freight does offer them, you know, with those sales that they do, so you can get them a little bit cheaper. There are other brands out there, as I mentioned earlier in the video. These are just the least expensive that I found. They serve their purpose clearly, and you know, there's really not much maintenance to them. You can clean them every now and then, put a little grease on the tracks, which I'll give you a little bit. I'll give you a quick look at here, and then I'll also show you how to get them down, how to get the boat back down. Basically, all you do is that little silver lever, just push that forward, unlock it, and then use the hydraulic pump, and it comes down. So let me give you a quick look at that, and we'll wrap it up. All right, so the little maintenance that I do with these, honestly, there really isn't much at all. I'm not going to lie to you. I do this maybe once a season, if that. I've maybe only done this 2 or 3 times since I bought these. So, again, very little maintenance. But basically, you can just clean them up. These grooves, hopefully you can see them on the camera. You can see them over here. This side has grease because that's the side that's coming in and out. But those grooves are what I mentioned. Every time you pump the hydraulic, it goes 1 groove. All right. Really, that's the only maintenance you can apply. So after you clean them up, you can apply an extra, coating of grease on there just to keep everything working smooth. But again, 4 years with these things, and I'm not the best with maintenance on these things for sure. I'll be the first to admit it, and they're still working perfectly. So in order to release them or bring them down, all you do is this silver lever that I showed you. You just unlock it, like it'll go into the down position, and now every time I work the hydraulic pump, it's going to come down a notch instead of go up a notch. All right, so I'm going to do that over here as well, and I'll show you. So now that that's unlocked, as you can see, every time you pump it, they come down a notch. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get the boat down off of these things, and we'll wrap the video up. All right, guys, there you have it. You can see how easily this boat moves around the garage using those 4-wheel dollies. Now, the only thing I'm going to say at this point, it's pretty much common sense, kind of goes without saying, but I'm going to mention it. We're on a smooth floor in here. It's concrete. It's not perfectly level, but it's relatively smooth. Now, if you're outside on a paved driveway or something like that, this would easily work. But if you're on something where, you're on gravel or obviously grass or anything like that, these are not going to work well for you at all. I just wanted to mention that. So you want to be on a relatively smooth surface. It doesn't have to be perfectly level and perfectly smooth, but again, it's not going to work well if you're on gravel or anything like that. So just wanted to mention that real quick. Again, common sense, but just wanted to mention it. So if you guys have any questions on these things, let me know. These Harbor Freight dollies, especially if you can get them on sale, they are well worth it. 4 seasons and going strong, and I don't know what I would have done without them, trying to move this boat around this garage and get it, positioned on the left side where I keep it when I need the truck in here as well. So any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below, and we'll get them addressed for you. I appreciate you watching, and yeah, give them a look. If you're trying to position your dual axle trailer in the garage and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg, give these a look for sure. They work really well. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Take care.